Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, everyone. It is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. As the thumbnail said, more of a Sith guy, though. More of a Sith guy. Shout out to Buck, Darth Vader in the house. Guys, we do have a little bit of a CME gap here from May 1st that is setting partially closed. We are pulling back into it. I do think this might be closed out today. But we got to take a look at what's going on the higher time frames. We're also going to break down the 4 hour. Now, right now, we are above our resistance zones. We've talked about this 82,546 range. It is going to be your 100-week moving average. Also, taking a look over here, is Bitcoin about to do something weird, guys? We've talked about sell in May, go away. It's always been the case every single bear cycle. Right now, though, we've got 3 monthly green candles. They're blue right now. I see it, yes. But we got 3 monthly bullish candles right now. We've never had 3 monthly bullish candles in a bear market. When we've had that, it's been the beginning of the bull market. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to break down some news for you guys and get this thing fired up. Let's go. Let's get it. Class in session.
Knowledge is profit. Yeah. Knowledge is profit. Check the macro, read the chart, you can't stop it. Target lock, ready to fire, load the rocket. At the Piper Academy.
Gang, gang.
Knowledge is profit. Alexander G, the Mark Queen is here. Buck is getting roasted, the pirate is in gear. OC has spaghetti, JR takes a nap. Chart prime signals lighten up the map. Knowledge is profit. Yeah. Knowledge is profit. Check the macro, read the charts, you can't stop it. Target lock, ready to fire, load the rocket. At the Piper Academy, knowledge is profit.
Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. It is Monday, May the 4th, and right now behind me here, guys, you can see we're getting a little bounce. Right, my fingers disappeared. Right, wiggle the finger, wiggle right there. We're getting a bounce on the 618, 78,557. We also talked about this little range up here. We're going to break that down, talk about, hey, do we have two lines going here? Because it kind of looks a little bit like it, guys. We're going to look at all that. Also, get into some news. We got a lot of news today. I'm opening up the wrong stuff over here. We got a lot of news to go through today, guys. We've got eBay being bought up by GameStop. We've got, what else? Trump said $465,000 is rich. We'll talk about what does that actually look like. We got a lot of thumbnails, a lot of X marks the spot today, guys. So we're going to get into all of it. Let's go ahead and start this class in session. Let's go. I was dancing in the background, ball and walling. That's funny you say that. I was, guys. As always, this episode brought to you by Chart Prime. Thank you for being a sponsor here on the channel. It's where winners trade, and it's the best indicator suite in the business. So, shout out to Chart Prime. Let's go check out the chat first. Guys, I'm in Gatlinburg right now, in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, with the family and the dog, doing some shopping and some good food and seeing the sights. And so we're going to be here for a few days and then onward to Memphis for an overnight stay and then back home to good old Texas. It's nice to go travel, but there's no place like home. So let's give a shout out to the chat, guys. Alexander G, back from Maui. I hope you had fun in Maui. Alexandra G there for a destination wedding. We missed you. Sam, welcome to the show. Ballin' Wallin' in the house with us. Local for crypto. Rashad's in here. Trade Intuition. He's giving him a shout out. So obviously Trade Intuition is somewhere up in here. Paul Hindenburg in here with us right now. Also, we are rocking Buck with the pirate flags. Buck, I went Sith for you today because you said I'm Darth Vader and stuff all the time. So there you go, Sith Lord. May the Sith be with you is tomorrow. So we'll obviously have to do something for that too. For all the nerds out there that, Star Wars nerds. So Shim, what's up? How you doing? Appreciate you being here with us. Mike Play, Deb is in here, and James on random with Snake Eyes. Silver Days, and I saw Ninja Glock in here early on. There's traded tuition almost first. Bingo, bango. All right, guys. Oh, there's Dave Digital. Dave Digital is like number 18. Appreciate you, Dave. I did speed up the intro a little bit, shortened it up a little bit, made it a little faster. It was good. It was good. I think that works best. Travel is fun, but my pillow in my bed is king. I have my pillow. I travel with my pillow. So does my wife. So yes, I do have my pillow, but we're at in the IHG resort down here. So we got a little one bedroom condo thing going on, and the bed is super comfy. So not too bad. Amy lives crypto. What's up, girl? How you been? Hope everything is going great with that baby, and I hope that you're doing well. It's good to see you in here, dropping in. All right, Maui was amazing. Of course it was, Alexandra. You were there. That's what made it amazing. Duh. All right, let's get into the news, guys, and let's talk about what we're seeing here on the chart first, and then we'll get into the news. Let's go talk about Bitcoin here. We talked about this on Friday, and I said, guys, we've got this is our trend line that everyone's drawing for the flag, right? Let's go shrink it in here. Put this on the 12-hour. There we go. And I said, look, this is the flag that everyone's talking about, and everyone's saying that probably going to do this nice little break down and retest in the second leg going through. We're like 57% of the way through the bear market right now, time wise, right? But it doesn't mean that it has to. We've only had this happen 3 times, right? 3 bear cycles, really. And that does not make a definitive trend. It's like, 1,197 times off from a true pattern, right? But it does give us a history to operate on. It is very possible that we have a sell and may go away. We talked about that. Every single bear market, an average of 30 to 50% downside. In May, from May to October. So, but I did see that there was likely this other pattern touching on the top here from March and back here in the February time period, right? And so if we line that up there with our most recent one, April touch, I said this could be the line that we're watching here for the top. Well, look where we pumped up to and stopped perfectly on it this weekend. It is that other trend line. So it's kind of like we had this proposed trend line here that's kind of holding price down. You can see a lot more touches on the dash white line, but we have the higher one that is now our rejection of another touch on that one. So we're going to be keeping them both on here, and we'll just call this the DMZ. This is the demilitarized zone of this war on Bitcoin here, guys. But that's what I'm watching on there. Looking at the oscillators on the CPO Plus, the Chart Prime Oscillator Plus, we are seeing that we did get back on 4-hour. Thank you. We did get another bearish divergence. We had a hidden bearish divergence that fired off here on Friday, and now we have a actual bearish divergence. A couple of them actually printed in here, one for the slower time frame right before the pump, and now a second one. We do have the downtrend arrow. We do have the oscillator ribbon moving to the downside, meaning bearish pressure. Money flow is starting to curve down, and you can see that right here. This green wave is the money flow indicator on here. It's pushing down, and volume is starting to curve down also. So if money flow is going down, volume is coming down, and we have a lot of indications of a divergence. Is that going to send price down? Possibly, but I really got to say that the golden pocket here that we punched above, it was all this resistance here that we were sitting at for the whole weekend. Now that we've punched above it, got that rejection, came back and retested. We've retested the 618 at 78,557 and also got a nice bounce on the the weekly dynamic reactor. This has been our previous resistance pocket inside of the golden pocket between the 618 and the 66 Fibonacci sequence levels, guys. So the fact that we're retesting the top of a golden pocket after we got the bounce off of support in the platinum pocket down here, starting back in February, and then again into February, and then again in March. Nice test of the 786 for support. We got our bounce up. What does that typically do then? Well, it means that the golden pocket becomes our resistance that we have to get out of. And it looked like for a while this was not going to happen. But one last test here at 75,313 has sent Bitcoin above the 618. Guys, I think right now we're really looking at a 50-50 on, is this thing going to continue back down to the bottom of the flag at 69,700, or are we going to get an upside break out of a bear flag? Fact of the matter is that a bear flag is also kind of like a channel. Okay. So we have a nice channel here. A rising channel typically breaks to the downside about 60 to 70% of the time. So there was only a 30 to 40% chance that this thing breaks to the upside. But given the support that we have, it is quite possible. We need to take that for what it's worth. I did drop all of the DCA levels for the Piper plan in the Discord this morning. I may actually start adding some more of the altcoins in there. We've been doing Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. I may start adding some more of the altcoins in there because if Bitcoin breaks above this, then we actually have to start considering that the bottom may actually be in, and we may have 3 months of green candles. We're going to talk more about that in a bit and what that actually means, because if we get 3 monthly closes of green candles here, guys, bullish candles, we've never had that in a bear market down move. So what does that mean? It means the bottom may actually be in. There is no sell and may go away. We break a bunch of trend cycles, just like we have multiple times this bull market, where we hit all time high before the halving, did not have the euphoric blow off top, did not get the flipping of the pi cycle chart indicator, nothing like that. So we're going to deal with it and take it all in stride. Whether it goes up or down, the Piper plan addresses that, and we are good to go on it. So let's go jump into the news and get that going here and see what we have on the news front. We do have some notifications here. I want to make sure none of this is up. It's all Alexandra G. Appreciate you, lady. Let's go get into the news front. Let's get into the metrics here for Into the Cryptoverse. Sorry for that flashbang. That is probably just horrible on some people out there. Jeez Louise. All right. Getting the crypto market cap total right now off of the Into the Cryptoverse metrics. We're sitting at $2.624 trillion right now. The trend of this is at 5.22 trillion. And right now we are currently undervalued about 49.76%. Moving over to the wristbands, we're at 0.38. I did do my DCA level this morning when we were down near the golden pocket. So for the week, I've already bought my DCA for this week, guys. I'm just seeing a lot of support, and it gives me that there is a reasonable expectation that price could go up from here. So I have done my DCA this morning, but right now it is at 0.38. That means it's a 4x DCA for the Piper plan. If you guys are in the Discord, you have access to all that. Enjoy, invest, do your thing. Not financial advice. Looking here at the stable coins versus without stable coins effect on Bitcoin dominance. We are at 60.29% on Bitcoin dominance right now. When you include the stable coins, take those stable coins out. We're at 68% and holding well. We talked about it when it was at 66 that we were likely going to make it to 68, and we're still here holding on to that. Let's look at the crypto liquidations here in the past 24 hours. According to CoinGlass data, in the past 24 hours, 114,134 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $465.76 million. Wow, largest single liquidation order was an Ethereum trade on Binance. Someone lost, no big deal. $11.7 million in one swipe of their buy button. Let's look here and see what we have. Actually, it's probably a short button, wasn't it? Let's look here and see what the volume looks like on the 24-hour. We're sitting at $40.8 billion in longs in the last 24 hours, 40.02 in the shorts volume. So what that say? 50-50 right now, about split. There was just as many bulls as there were bears. How are we looking in the past hour, though? In the past hour, guys, bulls are in charge. Again, another reason why I think that right now we may see more upside off of that bounce. So stablecoin yield being banned in the clarity bill will lead to stables flowing into Bitcoin. That is one possibility. Let's talk about that for a second. Because I've got a couple of theses of what will happen with that Clarity Act if stablecoin yield is banned at exchanges. I think that one, you will see if it is banned. We'll go with that one first. If it is banned, we'll see. Let's go to the chat. We'll come back to the news because that's a great topic, and I've thought a lot about this. I think that if you will see stablecoins probably start to flow back into Bitcoin if it's showing strength, and it is right now. That is a very possible thing. Two, we've talked about previously on the show with OC that this year we have not seen the swap out of stable coins that we've seen in previous bear markets. Typically, Bitcoin dominance stays high, stable coins flush out and it goes back to fiat or stock markets or whatever. Um, I think that we could see a flush out of the stable coins back out and maybe into the stock market. It is possible. But I do think you will see stable coins that are not making yield any longer, and people go, well, Bitcoin's showing some strength. Let me push it over to Bitcoin. And I do think that too. But well, every other cycle, stablecoin, the amount of stable coins being held in a bear market has dropped dramatically. We have hardly dropped this year at all, which is what's actually holding the crypto market cap up pretty well. But the as far as the people, you got to remember, there's a lot of people in the world, but the United States is one of the biggest target audiences that people want. We got a lot of degens here, man. A lot of degens in the U.S. Matter of fact, Binance.us actually had when they went through all that court case with whatever his name was, I can't remember the guy from Binance. Sorry, I haven't had enough coffee yet today. Anyway, he was talking about the recordings about Binance US. And they said, we really need the US market. That is where the money's going to be made because we have such a large amount of the crypto investors here. So while, yes, a lot of the world does use crypto, a big chunk of it as a nation is the United States for such a small population in comparison. What's up, OC guy? How you doing, bro? DJ Alexander OG. The third scenario that I think we see with the clarity bill is that it passes. Okay, it passes, and well, actually, the third scenario is that it doesn't pass. Is that it doesn't pass yield. Okay, and then banks start going, "Hey, look, exchanges can't have yield, but if you want to keep your stable coins at the bank, we'll give you yield on your stable coins, and you can use that directly into investing in our Bitcoin ETFs." I would not be surprised to see that at all. But the fourth scenario, I guess, would be that exchanges get the ability to hold yield, and then we see even bigger blow up into crypto much quicker. Money's there directly. They don't have to wait. So, what's up, Joey, in the house? I see you, man. Yo, 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 got to get your coffee. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I was going to use the other coffee mugs they had here in the room, guys, because we got a full kitchen here, but they were green, and I realized that was not going to work on a green screen. It's good coffee, though. All right, so back to the thing. I just want to talk about that. There's a lot of scenarios. Guys, Clarity Bill could have some really big ramifications on the market. So hopefully we hear something on that in May. We'll have to wait and see. Let's go jump back over and finish what we're talking about on the news here. Looking at X marks the spot today, guys. Big events today. March JOLTS job opening data will come out tomorrow. April ISM non-manufacturing PMI data comes out tomorrow. April private sector employment data comes out. April, we're also going to get Friday. We're also going to get April's job report. That is going to be your non-farm payroll, and we're going to talk about that in a bit because it does not look good what we're seeing there. And then also, 20% of the S&P 500 companies are doing earnings reports this week, but most of big tech has already done it last week, so not going to be a big hit there. Looking here at fear and greed, we're back in neutral at 40 right now, out of the fear range. We were back in neutral for a couple of days, back in the fear for a few days, and now back in the neutral. We're seeing a trend out of fear. So people are starting to lose that fear in the market right now. Most of the Mag 7 is over for earnings this week, but don't worry. Still 107 companies here doing their earnings report. Let's take a look and see who they are for Monday. Palantir is a big one. They just got downgraded. I saw on CNBC Pro on my subscription over there that Palantir has now been downgraded for their before their earnings this afternoon. Could see a fall on Palantir today, or it could pump because everyone downgraded it and they said, "Yeah, hold my beer." AMD, we do have that tomorrow. Super Micro is also tomorrow after the market closing. Strategy, guys. Strategy, MicroStrategy, aka Strategy. Michael Saylor's Bitcoin machine. Their earnings also on Tuesday. Be interesting to see what happens there. They did not do a buy this week though, which was kind of interesting. Hut 8, that's a Bitcoin miner. That's going to be on Wednesday before the market open. And is that about it? I think so. Any big ones on Friday? No. That'll be about it. That'll be about it there this week, guys. So keep an eye on that stuff for your earnings. That's what we're going to be having for this week. And again, Mag 7 done, but it doesn't mean that they're all done. Did you guys hear about this?
Looks
Spirit
like you're going to have to take over.
Spirit is done. Spirit Airlines gone. There was a bailout by the federal government for the people that had tickets already bought from Spirit and the employees, but not to Spirit Airlines themselves. They coordinated with other airlines to get some of the workers back to their home bases where they live, and worked out some deals to get some tickets in spots that were available on flights for people that had tickets for Spirit already. But the bailout was not directly to Spirit Airlines. However, nice little funny video here. Marco Rubio finding out that he has to run Spirit Airlines now too for President Trump. Check it out.
Looks like you're going to have to take over Spirit too, Marco. Looks like you're.
All right, there you go, guys. That's pretty funny video, but I know it seems a little focused, one directional there. But every last clip of that has a real clip out there. Someone actually did a montage paying homage to the life cycle of Spirit Airlines, and it was all news clips and video clips that people had taken at Spirit Airlines check-in. So it is what it is. If the shoe fits, let's take a look at what Rect Capital said. Bitcoin would need to break back above the micro triangle at 82,500. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because if you take a look at the chart here from Rect Capital, we have a trend line here, which is our previous support range, right? But there's a trend line here of resistance, diagonal trend line. And he is saying that that would need to be broken to confirm an uptrend, a reversal, and to break the macro downtrend of the 4-year cycle. Until then, calls for the 4-year cycle being over are premature. And I have to agree with them here. It's why I'm hesitant to say the bottom is in, despite the MVP oscillator firing off, despite what we're seeing on the on the upward trend of 3 months, so on and so forth. 82.5 is going to be the range that if we break that, historically has been the no point of no return for a bull cycle being back on, or at least the bottom being in. So shout out to Rect Capital on that. And then getting into the geopolitical stuff here, Bitcoin on a breakout watch. Let's go see something happening here. 79,577, moving up, moving on up to the east side. Yeah, it is. It's bad. Guys, that's why I said I went ahead and did it this morning. It's at 79,564 right now, moving past our lower trend line back up towards the top trend line and also towards that CME gap opening this morning. We still have a little bit below us. Let's go back and take a look at what's going on in geopolitical news today, though, guys. Following the announcement by the IRGC of Iran of a new control area in the Strait of Hormuz, the IRGC spokesperson has said that vessels that fail to coordinate with Iran for transit will be stopped with force. There was also news that came out saying that the Iranian claiming that a U.S. vessel was hit by 2 missiles after failing to comply with the recently announced control areas in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. officials have said that no U.S. vessel was struck by Iran. Matter of fact, they even put out, Central Command did, claim, Iranian state media claims that Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps hit a U.S. warship with 2 missiles. Truth? No U.S. Navy ships have been struck. U.S. forces are supporting Project Freedom and enforcing the naval blockade on Iranian ports. At this point, I don't know who's telling the truth. It's hard to tell, guys. It's all psyops and rhetoric at this point. So, also, lastly, here on the X marks the spot, We have 30-year U.S. Treasury yield tiptoeing to 5%. And I did do a little breakdown on Pam here on Chat GPT on why has that historically been a bad news thing for the markets. Historically, a 30-year Treasury yield nearing 5% is not crazy compared to the 1980s or the 1990s, but it's very high for a post-2008 Great Recession economy. The reason that it matters is that honestly, it makes cost of money more expensive, so on and so forth. But really, the bad thing is a lot of people go 5% is pretty damn good. I need 4% to pull out of my retirement funds. Why don't I put this in, make 5% back on my money? And it pulls a lot of money out of stocks. So investors get roughly 5% from long duration U.S. government debt. Expensive growth stocks have to justify a much higher valuation. Reuters noted during the 2023 yield spike that higher treasury yields tighten financial condition, raise credit costs, dull the appeal of equities and stocks, and hurt tech growth names because future profits get discounted more sharply. So historically, good or bad, the big so what for stocks, bearish pressure, especially on multiple high AI tech, utilities, REITs, real estate, and anything priced like future cash flow is free money. Bitcoin and crypto, usually a headwind short term. Higher long end yields tighten liquidity and make risk assets less attractive. And Bitcoin is still a risk asset, no matter what everyone thinks. But longer term, if the yields spike, it's because it is because of debt deficit and inflation fears. Bitcoin bulls will argue it supports the basement hedge narrative. Could see money then start to flow in to Bitcoin. Joey Thibodeau saying the bottom is not in, and I do tend to agree. That's why I still say it's about 56 to 57% of the way through the bear market, and still hold that chart that says sell and may go away. But it doesn't mean that it's not a good time to dollar cost average at that support level. So. But yeah, guys, that 30-year yield, not a good thing to see here, closing in on 5%, and we'll take a look at that here in a bit. Looking at the current markets right now at market open, a little bit past now, about an hour past. Nasdaq is up 0.3% today. We have the S&P up about 0.16, just above flat, and the Dow Jones is down slightly. So we're not seeing a lot of great strength here in the markets today. Let's take a look at the bond yield for the 10-year. 10-year sitting at 4.414 right now. It is green today. Oil sector also pumping up. Oil is at 102.50 on futures. Brent at $111 on futures. Energy sector all up today as we continue to see conflict in the Iranian area over there in that conflict zone. So, what's up, Gypsy? How you doing? My dog came to see me. She's like, can we go somewhere? I'm bored. Gold is down about 1% today. Silver down here today about 2%, and copper down 1.19. Platinum and palladium both down. Palladium down 2.46%. That's your metals update. Rock out. Let's go take a look here at what the stock, what Pro, CNBC Pro, guys. This is one of the articles that I get that's only available to the Pro subscribers. So when I see something in here, I try to bring it to you guys. Stocks just had one of their best Aprils ever. Here's what typically happens next. Someone's gone back and looked at all the way back since World War II. April had an impressive month with major stock averages. And while May is usually the beginning of a seasonally weak period for stocks, recent momentum might just continue in the month ahead. Last month, the S&P went up by more than 10%, its best month since November 2020, while NASDAQ climbed more than 15% with all those tech earnings performance that we've seen. And then Dow Jones was roughly up about 7%. Surprisingly strong earnings growth seems to be the driver of the recent market actions as investors have placed the oil supply on the back burner, the issue on the back burner. When looking at the top 25 results for April since World War II, the strategists have found that in the instances the broad market index increased on average about 2% in May, rising 88% of the time in that month. Interesting, right? But higher oil prices this time around may throw a wrench in that scenario. And as the vital Strait of Hormuz is remaining blockaded, oil prices were higher today as tensions between the U.S. and Iran were heightened in the key passageway. Notably, the S&P 500 energy sector underperformed the wider market in April, dropping more than 3%. So what they're basically saying is it's kind of flat to slightly up 88% of the time, average 2% rise in May for the stock market, all the way back since World War II. But if we continue to have higher oil prices, that may break that entire trend, and we could see May downside, guys. Looking at the prices right now for May 4th, this is from the 1st on Friday at the closing. Spot prices. These are spot, and we'll look at futures in a second to compare this with. But right now, 105.38 was oil, 118 was Brent. Just to remind you, I'll go back over here to oil. Futures right now, 102 on oil, 105. Spots higher than the futures price. 111 on Brent, currently 118 on spot. That would mean that spot prices either come down today at market close, or futures will have to rise to meet the price levels of spot. So don't be surprised if this week we start to see futures climb back up, because I doubt spot's dropping anytime soon. David Brumbelow said, psyops and lies. I don't even watch or keep up. If you, Dan, Alex O, Chris Rice, Tom Crown, Tino, Jason Casper, or Justin Custer don't talk about it, I don't know about it. Media news. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Let's go take a look at the crypto market right now. Looking at the daily, quite green here. Looking at the hourly, we are seeing continuation of green. Let's see here. Bitcoin's up 1.7% today. Ethereum is also up 1.7% today. XRP is up 0.9. BNB is up 1.1, and that rounds out your top five, minus with Solana at 0.8, minus your stable coins. Any other big movers? Dogecoin's up 3.3 today. Hyperliquid is up 1.3. Zcash is up 5.7% today, moving up one more spot to number 16 above my head there. And then Chainlink is up 4% today. Can't Network down 2 and 0.1% for Stellar Lumens. I do want to go back here because I did have one more thing to show on the markets. Kyle Dupes was talking about it. Maybe I don't have it. So Kyle Dupes was up top though. I'm gonna go see if I can find this, because he actually talked about the altcoins and their move. There we go, Kyle Dupes. And I thought I had it. There it is, right there. So Kyle Dupes said alts are popping after Bitcoin hit 80K. But if you take a look at altcoins here, guys, they're mostly sitting in the neutral zone, meaning that they're not really overbought. If you look closer, most are still sitting neutral. Very few are showing any real strength. This feels like reaction to Bitcoin, not expansion of alts themselves. And that's pretty interesting when you look here at what we're seeing, because Bitcoin and Ethereum is at 1.9, but a lot of your alts 1%, 0.9, 0.5. Doge is an outlier at 3.4, not performing as well as Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it does look like that is a reaction to Bitcoin's price staying in the neutral zone. We're not seeing a lot of stuff pumping up here in the overbought or strong zone. So keep that in mind. Strength in a move did not necessarily mean it's a strong move. It's just reacting to liquidity pumping into Bitcoin in general. Good morning, Army Piper and alumni. Good morning, JR. How you doing, man? All right, let's take a look at the Fed Watch. Of course, Kevin Warsh, May 15th, should be coming in as the new Fed. Remains to be seen if Jerome Powell is going to leave the seat or not, guys. But for a base chance for an easing here, meaning rate cut, to break 50% here, we have to go all the way out still. You can look here, October 2027, 24%. December 2027 is the first time we break 50% here. So as of right now, the markets have not begun to price in a rate cut, 6.5% in October. September, 6.9%. We have not begun to see the markets price in a rate cut for the Fed rate under Kevin Warsh as of yet. Still showing December next year. eBay pops, says Ryan Cohen, though, guys, says GameStop could issue stock to pay for takeover of a much bigger retailer, that being eBay. They offered something like $55.5 billion, well above what the price per share is right now of eBay. The offer split evenly between cash and GameStop stock. represents a 20% premium on eBay's Friday close at 104 and 46% premium to its closing price in February. So they are offering a lot of money to get eBay. And on that news, eBay has pumped, but GameStop has dumped. We'll see, guys, if they end up getting that. I don't know what their play is, but evidently Ryan over there, the CEO at GameStop, making a bid and making a play for eBay. And it's pretty big in the news right now, having some effect on eBay stock as well as GameStop stock. And then lastly, here in the news for us today, guys, Trump said $465,000 in retirement savings is rich. Let me know, guys. If you had $465,000 sitting waiting for your retirement, would you feel rich? That's the question. Put a one in the chat. If it would make you feel like, hey, check me out. I got $465,000. And then I'll show you what it actually equates to at your retirement age based on age group. Put a one in the chat if you think 465,000 makes you rich. Put a two in the chat if you think that's a bunch of crap. If you think that's a bunch of number two. Donald Trump signed an executive order on Thursday to expand the retirement account access for young workers. And if they were to save regularly, would be be able to amass about $465,000 in such accounts by the time that they turn 65 years old. We're talking like 40 years from now, people. 40 years by the time they hit 65. In other words, they'll be rich, Donald Trump said during the signing ceremony. Uh, That's F all right. But financial advisors disputed that characterization, saying $465,000 wouldn't necessarily qualify someone to be wealthy in retirement, especially when that nest egg might have to be spread over roughly 2 to 3 decades, right? Because this is your retirement fund. You're pulling from it, right? Which is also going back to that 30-year bond being over 5%. People need at least 4% out of their stocks in order to survive on their fixed incomes at retirement. There are advantages to these accounts, though, but I don't believe they are going to make people rich. Barry Glassman said he's a certified financial planner and founder of Glassman Wealth Services. While $465,000 could provide a healthy sum for retirement, with 3% inflation in 30 years, that's only about $200,000 today. Now, let's ask that question. Would you feel rich if you had $200,000? Or would you feel like you got a very slight break to change something for the better in your life? I think that's about all you would see on $200,000. I do not think $200,000 would make you feel rich in today's world at all. And so if that $465,000 30 years from now is today's $200,000, I'd like to know where Donald Trump gets his perspective on money, because that definitely would not make you rich. Again, not a small sum, but certainly does not qualify someone as rich. Randy, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Dirty Dutchman, crypto lady. I see you, lady. She said, yeah, two. That's crap. I would not feel rich with that much money. The average 401k investor had roughly $168,000 in their account by the end of 2025. An asset manager from Vanguard Group and retirement plan administrator said the median balance is just a bit more than $44,000 is the average savings and investments right now for retirement, guys. There's no way he thinks that. Yeah, I agree, Sam. Not that guy. Come on. The average IRA balance was about 137,000 at the end of 2025. It's a very modest paycheck in retirement, guys. It's really, if you start pulling that amount out, you are not going. Yeah, 4% rule. Oft-cited guide for households dictates how much money they can safely withdraw each year over a lifetime. Households with $465,000 lump sum would be able to withdraw about 18,600 in the first year of retirement for the year. 18,600. That's annually adjusted, increases annually to adjust for inflation. So, in other words, the nest egg would translate into about $19,000 a year to live on. That is not rich, Mr. Trump. Not rich at all. Let's go take a look at the Bitcoin chart. In Thailand, sure, yeah, exactly. If you're in Thailand, sure, it's rich. In the U.S., not happening, man. Not happening. Appreciate you being here, Paul. It's good to see you. In Thailand, yeah, that's money. That's money there. All right, look at Bitcoin, guys. Continuing to bounce, 618. 82,500 is that range that Rect Capital talked about. And let's go see back here. There is another range back here of a volume right here in this cluster. It actually comes up to about 84.2, ends at about 82.5. So we get above that, could find support in that range. But I do think that we still have a continuation of bear market here. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. I'm just going to continue to buy in as I need be. Where is the rejection levels that we could hit and still be technically in a bear market? Let's readjust here to our lines because we are coming into those ranges here of resistance where we would likely reject. We talked about these multiple times. The first one being right here on the 100-week moving average. That's coming in at, oh, look, 82,500. Shocker, right? That's going to be your 100-week moving average. The second one that we really are watching up here is going to be your 52-week moving average, guys. And historically, this has been where we have pumped up to in relief rallies and then got rejection to the downside side. I'll show you that in a second. So we could technically pump all the way up to here, set a lower high, and then reject down for the rest of the bear market. That one's coming in at 95,670. So I really do think that, yeah, we do have a little bit of a relief rally going on here, a very strong one. But if we go back and look historically at the charts, why I'm saying the 52 week, guys, we had a pump back in March of 2022, and it went up 40% to the upside to reject off of that 52 week before continuing down. Very much in line with the timeline we're on right now. Maybe just about a month offset from it. Also, going back in time, the 52 week right here was a rejection in July after starting to pump up in June. We had a pump and then a dump off of 52 weeks. So that 52 week moving average does tend to be a relief rally stopper. And that is, again, coming in all the way at $95,600 right now. We pumped up to there. A lot of people are going to be calling into the bear market and alt season coming soon. It's going to be on everyone's thumbnails. I guarantee it. But we're going to see that it would just be a lower high at that point. Then we come back and the question is all of this the support range? So last high pivot on the channel. Yeah, it would be that too. That's what we're watching here on that flag, which is actually a channel like we talked about. It's hitting right there at that range. So keep an eye on that level right now, guys, 80,500. So that's about it today. That's your Bitcoin update. We're going to continue to watch it. And then we're also going to be putting out more data this week as things come out. He means including your state digital credits you need. You will be rich. Yeah, that's it. Most people don't even have 150,000 in savings. No, the average median was 44,000 in savings. So Germany's going to be worse off. I can see that. Germany's been hurting for several years now. Their economy has. Let's go back to chat cam. Let's go to chat cam. That's about it today, guys. We're going to continue to watch Bitcoin. We're going to watch these levels. We're going to dollar cost average every week on the Piper plan. If you're not in the Piper plan and don't have access to it, guys, just for the record, it's $5 a month. That's it, $5. I made it as cheap as I could on membership access. So YouTube membership down below gives you access to the full Discord. It's $5. I don't even see all of that. Google takes 30% of it, but it keeps bots and scammers out. That was my goal. So if you guys want to get access to the Discord, check the link below. Check the join membership, and you'll get full access to JR's trades. We do some not as many as we used to. I need to start doing some more live sessions with the members, but we also do lots of education videos in there. There's a full class series in there, and then also there is the Piper plan where we break down weekly dollar cost averaging. There's an explanation in there of it with a printout PDF and everything, and then we drop those levels every single Monday of what your dollar cost average is, dynamic dollar cost averaging. So it's not the same every week. It's based on how deep into risk it's dropping, and that means, hey, we buy in more when it's down, right? And so it's working out very well right now. Quite a bit of ways in profit on the dollar cost averaging Piper plan right now, and we started buying at the very top. So yes, within 5 months of the top, we bought the day after I sold everything in October, and we are back in profit again. So if you guys are interested in that, go check it out. If not, it's cool. Come watch us here every day. We'll continue to welcome you like family here at the Academy. Appreciate everyone joining me here today, guys. We're going to head out and we're going to go enjoy Gatlinburg. So appreciate you all. I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys news, charts, markets, headlines, and everything you need to have knowledge because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe, use some risk management, peace, love, profits. I'll catch you all tomorrow. We're out.
Knowledge is profit. Yeah, knowledge is profit. Check the macro, read the chart. You can't stop it. You can't handle the truth. Target locked, ready to fire. Load the rocket. At the Piper Academy, knowledge is profit.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Alexander G, the Mod Queen is here. Buck is getting roasted. The pirate is in gear. OC has spaghetti. JL takes a nap. Short term signals lighten up the map. Knowledge is profit. Yeah, knowledge is profit. Check the macro. Check the macro. Read the charts. You can't stop it. Target locked. Ready to fire. Load the rocket. At the Piper Academy. Knowledge is profit. Yeah. Dodging the slide in the old potato sack. Waiting for the CME to gap right back. 50% of the time, they are right every time. So grab your Otter cup and get on the grind. Knowledge is profit. Yeah, knowledge is profit. Check the macro. Check the macro. Read the charts. You can't stop it. Oh, target locked, ready to fire. Load the rocket. At the Piper Academy, knowledge is profit. Trade safe. Use some risk management. Peace. Love. Profits. Profits. Oh.
We're heading to Crypto Blood, guys. Drop those graduation caps when you get there. Heading to Crypto Blood. See you guys tomorrow.
That was awesome, dude!
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?